Hey everyone, how's everyone doing today? My name is Jean and I'm doing great. So, today I've decided to do something a little bit different. So I was like scrolling through Pinterest just to try to get some ideas, and I saw this cute little painting of like just simple flowers, and I thought, you know what would be cool? Not only to paint the simple little flowers, but then to use embroidery, and I have a whole bunch of it, thread to kind of embroider onto the flowers, right? So that's what we're going to do today. Super excited. I just used this is a 10 by 10 canvas, and yeah, you'll need acrylic paint, embroidery, thread, and a canvas. So are we ready to check it out? I know I am. All right, let's get to it.
I went ahead and sketched onto the plastic part of the canvas my idea just to make sure I had good placement. I went to Pinterest to get a color palette because I do have a little bit of problems with that. And if you have like, oh my gosh, I don't know what colors go together, I highly recommend going to Pinterest and just typing in color palettes. Like I did one for Christmas, winter, spring, and all of that, and just saved them. So it helps so much when you're trying to come up with a color scheme, you know? So after that, I went ahead and just drew again what I had already drawn on the plastic sheet. And yeah, it's just so cute, so simple. Again, this was just simple flowers, simple leaves, but using embroidery thread. I thought that would look just so flipping cool to be able to do both, you know? And y'all just wait till you see the end results. Oh, I hope you are going to like it as much as I do. And let me know in the comments which one ended up being your favorite. Oh, and another thing I do want to say from the get-go is some of the stuff is a little out of frame, and I do apologize for that. I was so intent on what I was doing, especially when I was embroidering, that I kind of did not really realize where my camera was at, because I was so focused on that, because it has, like, this was the first time I've ever done anything like this, so you know. Now I'm going to start the painting. I did want to just show this. I wanted, you know, to have a background, and at first I thought just the buff titanium would be enough, and then I was like, no, I want it maybe brown, and then I put the brown on, and that totally was not it either, because it didn't go with the color scheme, right? So then I used the titanium buff with a little bit of Payne's gray to get a grayish color, and that is what I stuck with. So I will put that on the whole canvas, going around what I have drawn to leave that white space. For the leaves, I used sapped green with a little bit of indigo in it, or it could be Payne's gray. I can't quite remember, to make a dark leaves. So the dark leaves I used on this one, this tall leaf looking thing, and then I also will use it on the bigger flower. And for the other leaves, I will use just sap green with a little bit of yellow in it, just to give it a little bit of variation in the colors. I am using a filbert brush to do these leaves, so I kind of left that in so you can kind of see, and then I switched to a round brush to do the others. Again, this is sap green I'm using right now on these leaves, and again, I'll be using that mixture of Payne's gray with sap green or indigo with sap green. Again, I can't really remember. And I do 2 coats on these leaves to make them more fuller looking. I actually do 2 coats on all of the painting. So I did 2 coats on the background. Now I am going in with the colors of the flowers. I started with red, and I did add just a little bit of green in it. Just barely of that dark green color. I wanted it a little muted. It was a little bright, so that's what I did. For this flower, I used indigo with a little bit of white for the top part, and now it's just straight indigo for the flower piece itself. And again, 2 coats on all the paintings so that it's nice and saturated. For this flower, I used the mixture of indigo and red with a little bit of white in it to get the color that I wanted there. As long as you stay in the same colors that you've been using, like sap green, indigo, whatever, it should not be too muted and too muddy. So I thought this color came out really pretty. I really liked it. I actually love this color scheme together. I wanted it to be like a winterish color scheme. I might do like what I did before with my other paintings, where I'll do one for each season. I did go back with the gray and cleaned up around things that needed to be cleaned up, added a little bit more if I needed to. Then I went and I sketched back the lines that I had painted over. Now on the darker leaves, I knew I wanted it to have a contrasting color, and so I used this gold thread that I thought would look really pretty with this, and I think it does. I think it complements these colors pretty well. And I'm going to slow down the video just so you can see how I do this. So I brought the needle up, behind the canvas, which was, as you can see, it's a little difficult to do that. And I also forgot there is that wood at the bottom of the canvas, so I couldn't go all the way down, but it's okay. Then just take ever how much of a long of a stitch that you want, go above it, come back down through the back of the canvas, then go above it the amount of stitching that you've already done, right? Because you want it to be kind of consistent in the same lengths, and then go back down that hole that you had come up, just like that. So simple, and then it ends up hooking together. So you don't need a knot or anything. I just held the back of my thread. So this is just sped up showing you how to do it. And I believe this is called a straight stitch. So I did that all the way up the stem there, the leaves, and took a look at it, and I was like, okay, that is so cool. I like it. I am really liking it. So now I'm going to show how I knot it off. I go in through the back of a stitch, and then I will take the needle and go through the thread that's already on there to create a knot. And I just took the 2 pieces because I had to use another piece of thread, and I just wanted to make sure that it was secured, so I just knotted those together and then cut off the excess. Did the same thing with all of the other that's just pretty much the stitch that you use. It's just a straight stitch. Come up, go down, go above that, come back down that hole that you came up with. So while I was doing the other leaves, I was looking at this one that I'm working on right now, and I was like, you know what, this needs something a little bit more, because I was just going to leave it with just the stem. And so I was like, you know what, I'm going to just make it have these little spines in it, and I think that looks really cool. Again, I'm just trying to show, and this is where I'm out of frame. Again, I apologize. How you just do the same stitch, but you just follow the line, and it just creates whatever, you know, the design is. So it's really cool. This was really fun. I had so much fun on this one. Now I'm going to show, I did decide I wanted to put like little knots, they're called French knots, in the middle of the flower. So I'm showing that. You wrap it around 2 times. Make sure you hold your left hand. Make sure you hold that thread very taut as you go back down the hole. And so you come up, you pull the thread on your left hand or right if you're left-handed. You just want to make sure you keep that tension on there. Wrap it 2 times. go back down, but not through the hole that you came in, but very closely to it, and you create these little bitty knots. It's so cute. These were a little on the thin side, and I almost went ahead and did 3, but I just stuck with the 2 times around. So this is what it's looking like so far. And again, I was so out of frame when I did the leaves with the little swirls on it that I didn't even want to attempt to show that. But here I'm just using French knots to go up on this big flower. And I did go a little bit thicker. I went 3 times around instead of 2 on those knots. And the swirls on the leaves were just easy, just little small stitches just going around. I'm working on the final flower, again using the small stitching and using bigger stitching. It's all straight stitch though, and then I'll use little French knots on the end of that flower to give it that cute little look on it. And finally, when I get done, I do put some packing tape on the back of the canvas just to make sure that it doesn't come unraveled in any kind of way, shape, or form. I've always done this even with my cross stitching.
Oh my gosh, y'all. Look how cute it turned out. Man, this came out better than what I thought it was going to. I really, really, really dig it. You know, I've never done anything like this. I've done cross stitching. I have never done embroidery. So this was really fun. You know, just trying it out, trying to figure it out. I kind of, you know, a little bit down here. But after I got the hang of it, I think it turned out really cute. Which is your favorite on here? My favorite is these leaves. They've got to be my favorite with the little swirls in them. I love them. And then this flower, I really dig too. So which one is your favorite? Let me know. Comment down below. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I loved doing this. This was so much fun. Oh, it was so therapeutic. I loved it. All right, y'all. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like, subscribe, share it if you want to. I would appreciate it so much. It would just help my channel to grow. All right, y'all. Y'all be good to one another, and I'll see you next week. Bye.